Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday Talks. And today I'm going to talk about Wise Mind and lead you through a visualization. So it's fun. Today I'm hoping will be fun. I was in the mood for something a little bit lighter today, and this should just be something that you can absorb and enjoy, and perhaps it will end up being meaningful and something that you can work with going forward. So having said that, while I'm waiting for people to join on live, I want to welcome both my Facebook group and my YouTube viewers. If you're on YouTube and this is the first time you're seeing me, my name is Barbara Heffernan, and I am a psychotherapist and online life coach, and I'm a Buddhist and mindfulness meditation instructor. And I bring all of that together in my channel, Awaken Joy, to try to help people live more joyful lives. So today I'm doing something a little bit different for the people who've seen me regularly, which is a kind of visualization we haven't done before, but I love these visualizations, and I'm hoping you will as well. And if you're signing in from Facebook, you can put your name in your comment to me, because otherwise I can't see it. But hi, Teresa, welcome. Hi, Yuthaswara, nice to see you again. And hi, Jess. I'm glad you're all here. So the other thing for my YouTube viewers, and actually Facebook as well, if you can give the video a like if you like it, and if you're on YouTube, to subscribe to my channel. That helps a lot. It really helps to encourage me to continue to make content that can be helpful to a lot of people. And so, hi Joanne, nice to see you. So Wise Mind. Wise mind is a concept that was popularized by Marsha Linehan with DBT therapy. DBT therapy is dialectical behavior therapy. It's a very effective form of therapy. It is used for people in particular, it's used for many different types of things, but in particular for people who have difficulty regulating their emotions. So people whose emotions swing very, very widely. DBT was really created for them, and it incorporates a lot of mindfulness skills. Marsha Linehan had a background in Zen Buddhism, and she brought that in to create this therapy technique. So I'm going to talk about Wise Mind from the DBT perspective, but then also from the broader perspective of how it's utilized in Buddhism and other forms of therapy. And also the visualization that I'll lead you through is not a DBT particular exercise. So Wise Mind now is a term that people often link to and associate with DBT, and it's an integral part of DBT. And I think that Marsha Linehan really helped to spread this concept more widely so more people had access to it, and it could be a super useful concept. And it's also really a concept that's been utilized in both therapy and in Buddhism for kind of ever, so kind of forever. So let's see, as you have questions as I'm talking or comments, feel free to throw them out. If I can, I will respond and read them while also staying on topic. So many of you who've watched my other videos or who interact with me in the Facebook group know that I use this term observer mind a lot. And observer mind is very, very helpful. And part of the reason I so highly recommend mindfulness meditation as a supplement to whatever kind of self-healing, personal growth, anything that you're doing, I think mindfulness meditation is such a key component and support for all of that, primarily because it develops observer mind. And observer mind is the part of us that kind of observes what's going on without getting overly involved in it. So if we're in a conflict with somebody and we've got this storyline going and we're just like, our emotions are there and we're observer mind can step back and say, oh, this has happened before. Kind of they're following their typical patterns, and hey, I'm following my typical patterns. So observer mind provides perspective, and perspective has a lot of wisdom in it. So there really is an overlap and a connection between observer mind and wise mind. So you can let me know if this is making sense to you as I go on. So wise mind in the DBT realm, Marsha Linehan created this model where she said you have emotional mind and you have reasonable mind. And I actually don't really like the term reasonable mind, so it is also sometimes called rational mind, which I prefer. But emotional mind and rational mind, and that they both have their strengths and they both have their limitations. And wise mind is where the two of them intersect. So sometimes people, if they're considered overly emotional, will make impulsive decisions basically from whatever emotion they happen to be feeling at the time. And those often don't end up being good decisions. And then another set of people who maybe cut off their emotions and ignore their emotions and focus only on reason, logic, what makes sense, might make all their decisions from that point of view, and those don't end up being good decisions. So the decisions that make the most sense are where we can integrate reason and emotion. So how do you do that? Part of doing that is really strengthening this observer part of your brain who can say, oh, I'm overly caught up in emotion here. Or, hey, I'm kind of overly caught up in reason. And a couple of clients, actually, it's sort of been a theme recently. I have a couple of clients who are female and fairly emotional and in relationship with very rational males. And this dynamic that develops among the female clients in this situation that I've had is that they criticize their emotionality. They say, well, I'm way too emotional. Maybe he's right. And maybe I should do it that way, but something about it doesn't feel right. And I was working with a client on this, and she was talking about really they're trying to make a decision about where to live. And he's got all these reasons and, his little pro-con sheet. And she emotionally is not agreeing with the decision he's making. And he is basically saying she's being too emotional. So I recommended to her to think about those situations where we bring emotion in where it makes perfect sense. Like, let's say you're in a city and you don't know the city very well, and it's dark and it's at night and you don't feel particularly safe. That's emotion. That's fear. It's wariness. That's a good emotion to listen to sometimes. So in that type of situation, you might either choose to walk where you need to go with somebody, take a cab, change what you're doing. So that is rational and comes from your emotions. So I suggested she come up with a couple examples like that to discuss with her husband so that the two of them could begin to value both. There's also was this research done, which was fascinating, on people who had traumatic brain injury in a part of their brain where emotions are processed. So they really kind of had no access to emotions. So some people posited that, assumed that they would be able to make like these perfectly rational decisions. But in fact, these people weren't able to make decisions at all because they didn't have access to, do I like that? Do I not like that? How do I feel about that? So feelings are completely valid and work best when we put them together. So send me a thumbs up. Let me know if this is making sense to you. And the other piece that I want to talk about with this is that my brand and Facebook group and the YouTube channel are called Awaken Joy, because I feel that joy is an integral part of all of us. We all have the capacity for joy. And it might get covered over by difficulties we've gone through in our life, wounds, times that we've been hurt by others, traumas. All this kind of stuff can kind of cover over our access to that joy, but we all have that capacity. So I very purposefully used the term awaken joy. And wise mind is similar. we all have wise mind. Every single one of us has the ability to really tap into both our reason and our emotion, make good decisions, put them together, tap into our intuition, what we feel in our stomach. It's valid, right? So we all have that capacity, and that capacity can be developed. So again, send me a little note. Let me know if this is making sense. And whether I'm curious whether you have encountered this concept before, wise mind. Maybe you've worked with it with DBT or in a meditation type of community. So let me know. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can always put a comment below, and I do read all my comments and respond when I can. So let's do a bit of a journey, a bit of a visualization. And I want to say about visualizations that our abilities to visualize really vary. So some of us have very visual brains. Others of us don't have visual brains at all. Don't worry about it. You can still do a visualization. So an example I'd like to use with you before we jump in here is to bring to mind your most comfortable pair of shoes, your favorite shoes. You're probably wearing them a lot these days if you're with the social isolation going on, right? So just bring to mind your most comfortable shoes. Now, for some of you, you might have a perfect visual of them. And for others of you, you might just know which ones they are without a visual. Either one is okay. So as I suggest, as we go through the visualization, if I'm suggesting that you visualize something and you're not coming up with like a real picture of it, it's okay. You're probably coming up with thoughts, and that's okay too. So the visualization can still work even if you're not officially really seeing it. So hopefully that example about the shoes, because when I asked you to bring to mind your most comfortable shoes, most likely you know which ones they are. And so even if you couldn't picture it, you knew the answer. So same thing with this visualization. So I'm hoping that that's a little bit of a good framework. And I'm just going to take a moment to read some comments and have a drink of water, and then we will jump into the visualization exercise. Great. And Ming said it makes perfect sense. Thank you. And Jess said that one of her kids used DBT. And actually, when DBT people, I'm not actually a trained, fully trained. I've done some trainings within DBT, but I'm not fully certified or fully trained. But when you work with somebody who is, and if they're working with adolescents, they incorporate the family. It's a very important part of their treatment, because when we're working on emotional regulation, the emotional regulation within the home is so important. So they want to also incorporate parents and make sure parents have the same tools that the adolescent is being given, and to create a supportive environment for the work that adolescent is doing, which I think is an awesome piece of the program. Okay, so I'm sitting in my meditation posture, but you could be in yours or you could be in a chair. And this visualization is probably easiest done with your eyes closed, if that's comfortable for you. So I'm just going to have you close your eyes and just take a couple of deep breaths. And maybe just land more fully exactly where you are right now. So a deep breath in, a sense of awareness of the room that you're sitting in, a sense of awareness of your seat in the chair or on the floor or on a cushion. Notice your feet, what they're touching. Bring yourself very firmly into this moment. Noticing whatever sounds, smells, anything. Just let everything be as it is. And now, with your eyes closed, I'd like to recommend that you picture yourself walking on a path. And just look down at your feet, just see your feet walking on this path, and just notice what shoes you have on, if any. Notice what the path looks like. And just know that this path is going to take you someplace beautiful, someplace you love to be. And you're going to be in this place kind of in the best of circumstances, a place you love to be, best weather, best time of day. And just notice your feet walking down this path and feel some anticipation and excitement for when you will turn a corner and then be in your beautiful place. And I'm going to count down from 5 to 0, and I'm just going to have you watch your feet while I'm counting down. And when I hit 0, you turn a corner and look up from your feet and see this beautiful place that you love to be. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And just look up in your visualization. Look up as you turn the corner and you're in this beautiful place. And for those of you who know the beautiful place you're in and you're following the visualization, just take a moment to walk around this place, just really to soak in this place that you love to be. And notice what sounds you hear in this place, what sights you see. Bring to mind any details you can. And if some of you listening are having a hard time picturing a place, this can be a place from your past, your present, or it could be imaginary. Anyone is okay. And just take a moment and really look around this beautiful place and notice what vistas you see. Notice if there's any running water or fresh water. And then find a place to sit in this beautiful place that you are traveling in. Just find a place that you can sit for a moment. And you can create this. You can create a beautiful, comfortable chair, a tree stump, anything you would like to sit in, you can create it. And take your seat, and in your visualization, take a deep breath and really feel like you have arrived in this place that you're sitting. And take a moment to check in with all your senses, what you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, if anything, and what you feel. You can feel yourself sitting. You might feel a breeze on your skin. Take in the sensory details of this beautiful place. And now take a moment and set an intention that you would like to meet your wise mind. Set an intention that you would like to get to know the wisdom inside you more closely, more intimately. And send an invitation out into this beautiful place, asking your wise mind to appear to you in the form of a being. It could be any kind of being. It could be an animal. It could be a spirit. But ask your wise mind to appear to you in the form of a being. And when it appears, welcome it. And I just want to give you a moment to welcome the wise mind being that has appeared to you. And if there's an issue you'd like to put forth to your wise mind right now, if there's something that you have been struggling with or deciding between, and you would like to place that issue in front of your wise mind, do so. And you do not need an immediate decision on this, but just put the issue out into the area. Ask your wise mind for help, and the help might come in the form of metaphor or symbol. It might be metaphor or symbol that you can't interpret right away, or it might be clear. Either one is okay. And then surveying this beautiful scene and this wise mind being, know these are all part of you. None of this is external to you. This is all internal. This is all your own internal wise mind, your own internal beauty. None of it is external to you. So take a moment and really, really breathe that in, that all of this beauty is a part of you. And breathe that in, take that into your chest and into your heart, into your core. And the wise mind being is a part of you. So in your visualization, take a moment just to thank the wise mind being for showing up. Take a moment to thank yourself for doing this, for taking this time to explore. And then knowing you can come back to this beautiful place anytime you want. See yourself in your visualization get up out of your chair. Say a temporary goodbye and a ciao. I'll see you soon. And then see yourself moving towards the path. And find the path that you were walking down to get to this beautiful place. And watch your feet on that path. And as you walk, I'm going to count from 0 to 5. And at 5, you will be back in your room, back on into this live video. So just watching your feet on the path. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can open your eyes and come back to the video. And if we were doing this in a more extended workshop, I would be finding out what each of you has seen. So you can definitely send me a comment and I'll respond. You can comment both on the YouTube video as well in the Facebook group, and I will respond back. But just for the moment, just send me a quick, either a thumbs up or a quick comment. Did you follow the visualization? Did your wise mind appear? I'm very curious how that went for you. And visualizations can be very powerful because the healing parts of ourself speak to us in metaphor and speak to us in, kind of the subconscious mind. So doing visualizations like this, we are tapping into a more creative state of mind than that kind of overly logical, like I want to figure out this problem and it's got to be just right and all of that. This is a much more kind of open, curious approach, that almost an approach where the question is more important than the answer. And to live in that place can be a beautiful place to live, like to really be living in the question, because we have a lot of unanswerable questions in our world. And we can approach them with joy and curiosity and openness and not feel so constrained like we have to have an answer. So great. Someone was saying, Joanne really enjoyed it. Terrific. Teresa, I felt such a deep feeling of relaxed curiosity. Awesome. I can't wait to find out whether or not your wise mind took a form. Be very curious. If your wise mind took the form of an animal, by the way, you can Google, power animals within the Native American tradition. If you are from the North American area in particular, because the Native Americans have a tradition of the power animals and the spirit guides. And so you can look up what they represent. And really, you can do it worldwide too, because all sorts of animals have been interpreted in terms of what they mean to us on that more subconscious level. But remember, this is also your personal metaphor, your personal mythology. So what it means to you. And even very minor animals can be very, very, very powerful. So anyway, thank you for joining me for this. Let me know if you enjoyed it, if this was fun, and I will talk to you guys later.